What we have here is a Toyota Venza. This is from 2021, and it is the LE edition. And it's my belief that LE stands for lowest edition, because it is. I'm hoping that you can experience a little bit, if you haven't already, about a different kind of driving style. And let's see if I can do a seatbelt with one hand. I believe so. Now that's new. The power button shouldn't be anything new. Foot on the brake. Oh look, I've got my foot on the brake. And it tells me to put my foot on the brake. Very good, thank you. And you hear the engine roar to life. Maybe not. But that's okay. It does tell me to drive safely every single time. And I'm told there's no way to turn that off, which is endearing. So anyway, the core of the Venza is drivetrain, and we're just there, and we're gone. And we're doing this. Go to home button. And we have the engine, oh, there's another way to show it. The engine, the electric motor, being a hybrid, and the battery. Let's go back the simple way, even though it doesn't look anywhere near as nice. And my previous car had a manual transmission, so this is a little bit less engaging. And the engine still hasn't roared to life, being electric. The yellow arrow indicates that we're running off the battery, strictly electrically. And here is something interesting, the dashboard. Now, I've got this dashboard set up in kind of an interesting way, in that, well, this is very basic, an analog gauge. And this, of course, you can figure out. It's not so easy to understand necessarily as this. Here we have the charging area between here and here. When I apply the brake or just take my foot off the accelerator, this will charge up the battery, and this will show me if I'm driving very economically or if I'm applying power, because there's no way for me to know otherwise. Yeah, right. But there it is. And here we got some modes, and that's the center. This is my school teacher saying whether I'm a good boy and driving economically. To that I say, shut up. And this will tell me the miles per gallon of this particular tank full. It says tank average there. Distance to empty 472. And the outside temperature and the time. It's always difficult to tell which one is the time and which one's the temperature, but with practice you can figure it out. I don't mean to be such a jerk, but I think it's funny. I'm going to try to focus somewhat on this gauge as I'm driving, and also on this, because these are the things that we notice most. And away we go. And because it is so much into the late afternoon or the evening, oh my gosh, just too much to have the sun to go west. All right, so we're going on west. And you can see we're economically moving along at an economical speed. And the engine is actually running, but not yet charging the battery. All right, took my foot off the gas, applying the brake, and let's make a turn. going to be going down a hill pretty soon. And here's the hill. We're definitely going downhill. Foot's off the accelerator. There's nobody behind me, so I can just do this. And the battery is being charged. And the gauge is just slightly on the charge side. You can see it's already increased the battery a little bit. This is basically the essence of it. What I found from driving this quite a bit, you'll notice it has 18,000 miles on it. I bought this at 13,000 miles, so just under that. And I've been learning about this. So anyway, on the highway, the fuel economy is about 37 miles per gallon. Once in a while they'll get into the 40s. It is a 2.5 liter engine. It is a 4-cylinder engine with 8 fuel injections, 8 fuel injectors. Why 8? Because 4 of them are direct injection and 4 of them are port injection. And if you don't know what that means, maybe I should explain that. But all right, I could turn red on red here. The guy on the bicycle seems to be waiting. People across the street seem to be waiting. All right, good. Let them wait. That's a pretty major highway, 60 mile an hour speed limit. This is where I'll probably get about 37 average miles per gallon, assuming that I just use a gasoline engine. And the way it's driving right now, that's not too bad of an assumption. But up ahead, the lights turned yellow. Putting the brake on, and look at the charge gauge. As long as it's on the charge gauge isn't all the way on the bottom, it's charging up more. And it stopped charging because we actually got the brakes working. This will save the brakes a lot with that regenerative charging. So if you plan ahead and you know that you're not gonna have to slam the brakes on, and you can do so, you'll fill that battery back up pretty soon. And you'll be using that to move along electrically. And the air conditioner is run by electricity, not the actual, not a belt off the engine. So another feature. There we go. I think we're going to turn right on Boone. Make things a lot more simple. All right, there's port injection and there's direct injection. Direct injection has a fuel injection system. This is gasoline, of course, where it puts fuel directly into the combustion chamber, right in there on top of the piston. So it's right in there. And the port injection, what that does is there's an intake port and an exhaust port. So the older fuel injection style, supposedly less efficient, is the port injection. So, see, here's how we get good fuel economy. It's because we're running off the battery entirely here. So now we're going to wind up with, who knows, 60 miles per gallon or beyond. Well, 60 is probably the highest I've gotten, because eventually something will kick in. This doesn't last forever. The battery's not that big. And you actually will get better fuel economy in town, and this is why. Because we're using the battery more than the gasoline engine. So, port injection actually squirts fuel onto the back of the valve for the intake. So, which is better than the valve for the exhaust, because that'd be really bad, right? But anyway, when it does that, then the back of the intake valve gets somewhat sprayed with the gasoline being poured in, being injected in, and it actually cleans it. That's kind of a side benefit, but that's what happens. And what happens is with GDI and TSI, these are direct injection systems, is you get a buildup on the back of the exhaust, on the back of the intake port, and that buildup becomes problematic, and cleaning it, there's no real easy way to clean it. So Toyota designed an engine with both kinds of injections, so the injections will, one injection will clean, the port injection will clean the engine out, while the other one provides more efficiency. So, quite the system, huh? Anyway, it's a 2.5 liter normally aspirated, that is to say not turbocharged engine, and because it's not turbocharged, there's no reason to consider premium fuel. You definitely want to use regular fuel. Otherwise, you're just wasting money, quite honestly. And again, we're just running off the battery. See, I'm just slowing down ever so slightly if you're going down a very mild hill. And the battery charges. And as we look at the sign here that tattles about how fast you're going. You know, you're going too fast, this is a school zone. You're gonna run over all the children. Yeah, that happens to me a lot. This is a really good car for running over tons of children if you really need to. Although honestly, I haven't hit one yet. I guess I'm not very good at that kind of driving. Hamas driving. Oh well, is this something I really want to publish on, is saying stuff like that? Probably not. Well, we'll see. So anyway, this is one of the reasons we're getting an average of 49 miles per gallon on this tank. It's because of this kind of driving. So you'll do a lot better in town with these traffic lights than you will in a normal gasoline engine just cruising down the highway. When I had my Jetta with a manual transmission, cruising down the highway was the best fuel economy I could get. I would get 50 miles per gallon from time to time on that thing. Even got 54 once. This one, I actually got 62 here and there, but these are, you know, I don't know how long these trips were, 10, 20 miles. You know, no big deal. It's not the kind of thing that happens over extended drives. Unless your extended drives are in a lot of in-town driving or a lot of stop-and-go driving where you're charging the battery a lot. And there's the charge gauge. And my foot's off the gas and off the brake. Now we're going to start to use the brake. And you can see the charge gauge a little bit. And when I first drove this car, I wasn't really aware of that charge gauge so much. So now we're accelerating, we're using the gasoline engine a little bit. We're up to speed. Actually, here we can do something interesting. Cruise control. Do that, hold it down, keep it down, don't let go. All right, and now we've got regular cruise control where we can just hit that set button and it will go without the radar. And the radar is where it looks at the gap between you and the car in front of you. And if the car in front of you is going too slow, or I'm going too fast, or whatever it is, then it will put the brake on for us. Isn't that nice? Don't you like it when the car puts the brakes on for you? I'm really not really modern enough to be a lover of such a thing. But they are putting their brakes on, and we are getting a little bit of a charge out of that, so to speak. Not even touching the brake, just kept my foot off the gas. It added a little bit of power to the battery. And now I've got my foot on the brake because I'm getting really close to this sucker. But this is it. This is the idea about driving a hybrid. When I'm driving, I really don't watch the charge gauge very often. It's just too much out of my line of sight for what I need to do. I will keep this on from time to time, or just hit the map, and it'll show me where I am in, you know, Waze, which is what I prefer to use. And there we are, green light, but why go? I mean, you're supposed to stop at a green light, I guess. I don't know. Rules of the road. Yeah. But that's pretty much it. This is what driving the hybrid is all about. And this happens to be a pretty nice one. So the drivetrain is pretty much exactly the same, I'm told, as that of a RAV4 of this year, which is 2021. I think I mentioned that before, but yeah, here's the railroad track, but here's the actual line for stopping. Right there. And that's it.